Protect the Emperor. Quick, protect the Emperor. Your Majesty, the deceased is Yi Donglu from the Ministry of Revenue. He is this year's second-ranking scholar. 2 months ago, the Emperor ordered him to be transferred from the Hanlin Academy to the Ministry of Revenue. He has since assumed his duties at the ministry. Who's dead? Lan Shi, get the embroidered uniform guards to investigate the cause of Yi Donglu's death. Yes, Your Majesty. My belly is tense and painful, as hard as a stone. Get the Imperial Physician. Quick! Imperial Physician. Your Majesty. The water is broken. I'm afraid Milady will have to give birth immediately. Head back to the palace. I want to head back to the palace. Milady, you are 20 days away from your due date. You were frightened just now, and your water broke. Looking at the amount of water, I am afraid that we won't be able to return to the palace in time. If we do not proceed with the birth procedure now, I'm afraid that. Say the truth. I'm afraid that if we put this on hold for too long, with the bumpy road ahead, the fluid will run out, and the offspring might suffocate in the mother's womb. We'll get the procedure done right here. Have the palace staff immediately prepare a delivery room, then send a team of embroidered uniform guards to hurry back to the palace and fetch the midwife here. Before the midwife arrives, the procedure will be handed over to 5th-ranked Imperial Physician Zhuang and 2 other 6th-ranked Imperial Physicians. We can do away with the taboos between men and women. Due importance is to be given first to the Imperial Consort and her offspring. Lay Imperial Consort Wei on the stretcher and be careful when carrying her into Londa Palace. Quick! The body is filthy. It will lay filth to your eyes, Your Majesty. He just got into the top 3, but he died under such circumstances. Such a pity. Could it be that he was trying to climb higher to look into the distance and accidentally fell off the building? During the previous banquet of grace and honor, I felt a bad omen when I heard Scholar Ye's poem. Worry exudes from the green hills so mellow, as a person leans against the building showing his shadow. Look, he has now fallen from a dangerous building. The poem has become a prophecy. Qinghe, look at the blood between his fingers and the blood flowing out of his 7 orifices. Based on the state or color of the blood between his fingers and the 7 orifices, we can conclude that the bleeding time between both was inconsistent. That means before Yi Donglu fell to the ground, his abdomen was already wounded. Father, I hope you can search the whole building thoroughly and let the post-mortem examiner have a look at Dongye's body. We need to FND out whether he fell by accident or was murdered. In just half an hour, a healthy human has now become a bloody corpse. Could it be the Prince of Yu? Lan Shi, find a post-mortem examiner to perform an autopsy on body. At once. Embroidered uniform guards, search the left auxiliary building in detail and see if the murderer left any clues. The wound is thin and short. It should have been made with a spear or a dagger. Your Majesty, I have inspected the auxiliary building. The fence at the topmost floor was intact, and there were no signs of struggle whatsoever nearby. According to my speculation, Officer Yi probably had his back against the fence when the sword sunk into his abdomen. He did not die immediately after being struck by the sword. Instead, he pressed the wound with his hand to stop the bleeding. It took about half an hour before he fell off the fence and to his death on the steps. Then why did Yi Donglu not call for help? That's what I don't understand as well. If Official Yi was unconscious and couldn't call for help, how did he climb the fence? If he was awake, what was he doing for half an hour? There is also another possibility. He might have been truly unconscious. The murderer waited for half an hour and calculated the timing before pushing him off the fence. What was the murderer waiting for? The moment Imperial Consort Wei reaches that step. If that was truly the case, then the individual's guilt does not lie with murdering an officer alone. There is also an additional crime of harming the Emperor's offspring. Investigate all of this. I want the truth. Lan Qi, invite the Prince of Yu and Private Tutor Su for an audience. Very well. I came under your orders. Brother, why do you seek my audience? 27 of them. What 27 of them? I don't understand what you're trying to say.